How are we? Our learning target for this video is I can find the exact values of missing sides of special right triangles. So here are what we call the special right triangles. On the left, we got the 45, 45, 90. And on the right, we got the 30, 60, 90. From these special right triangles, we get what we call the exact values of the important angles. So the important angles are 0, 30, 45, 60, 90. All these values come from the special right triangles. Okay, that's where all those values come from. Just to give you one example, look at the cosine of 30 degrees. So the cosine of 30 degrees, or the cosine of anything, is adjacent over hypotenuse. So from the 30, 60, 90, we get the cosine of 30 degrees is equal to radical 3 over 2. That's why if you look at our chart here, it says the cosine of 30 degrees is radical 3 over 2. So all of these values that you see here, they all come from the special right triangles. And the values shown here are shown with the denominators rationalized. Okay, so for our example, we are told to find the exact value of x. So we don't want the value in decimal form. We want the exact value of it. All right, so how do we do that? Well, first we have to use the appropriate trig formula. So it's up to you what you want to use. It's completely up to you because you could use either cosine or sine depending on what angle you're going to use to find the value of x. I'm going to use the 30-degree angle. So I'm going to use this angle here. So my theta is going to be 30 degrees. So if I'm using 30 degrees, how do I label x and how do I label radical 3? Well, x is the hypotenuse. And the radical 3 is adjacent. Just looking for a radical sign here. And the radical 3 is adjacent. So if I have adjacent and hypotenuse, that means I have to use cosine. Okay? But you could have also used sine if you wanted. In that case, you would have to use the 60 degrees. All right, so use the appropriate formula. Now you substitute into the formula. So you get cosine of 30 is equal to radical 3 over x. After you substitute into the formula, substitute the exact trig value of the special angle. So what was the exact value of the cosine of 30? Well, let's go back. The exact value of the cosine of 30 was radical 3 over 2. Let's go back to our example. So since the cosine of 30 is radical 3 over 2, I'm going to substitute that in there for the cosine of 30, right? So the cosine of 30 is radical 3 over 2, so I substituted that in there. Now you could cross multiply and solve. So let's do some cross multiplication. So 2 times radical 3 is 2 radical 3, and radical 3 times x is x radical 3. So I get this. Now we just have to solve for x. So we're going to divide both sides by 3. The radical 3's cancel out over here, and the radical 3's cancel out over here. So I get 2 equals x. And that's my final answer. Okay, I hope this video helps you with finding the exact values of missing sides of special right triangles. Take care.